Unfiltered and unapologetic.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another edition of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am one half of your host, Keithan, and the other half, he's pretty pissed off right now.
I was just about to say, a very
pretty
pissed off Sherrod is what we're going with today.
pretty furious. If you're a long time listener of our show, you know that he usually does the intro, but today he was like, "Fuck it, I don't even want to do an intro. You do the damn intro." I just want to spit fire.
This is like a special edition because this is such an impromptu episode that we just gonna go. We just gonna go.
We're just gonna let it fly. We're just gonna let it fly. Let the bullets fly. Today's show is about the top 50 greatest tag teams in WWE history, and that's in the total existence of the company all the way back when they were WWF, all the way back when they were, I believe, WWF.
So, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is this just are these just the tag teams that were in WWF, etc.? It has nothing to do with
some crossover promotions too, though.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. That's fair enough. I just want to get that clarified. Who made this fucking list?
One of the damn, it had to be one of the social media people that piss people off every single month.
Whoever fucking made this goddamn list should just, I don't even have the words for how stupid this fucking shit is, but it just gives it's a commentary on how bad this is exactly, to me, what's wrong with wrestling today. And I know lists are subjective. I get that. Everybody's not going to have this. Me and you probably can argue about the top 5 all day long, but I guarantee it won't look like this foolishness that we're about to talk
about. No. It's some that I'm just disappointed in just the placing of them, rather than them just being on the damn list.
So it's a top 50. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut the introduction. Shoot.
Oh, no, that was the introduction. I'm just trying to figure out, where do you want to start? Do you want to start number 50?
Well, we obviously can't sit here and go through all of these. But, okay, there's going to be some people we're not going to dispute. I want to put that out there for the general public. I think that if you have not seen this list, I would advise you to check. We found it on sportskeeda.com. And look it up. It's just Google WWE top tag team list. You can go and look at it for yourself. We're just gonna kind of roll with, and some people along the way we may say, okay, too high, too low, whatever. You know, one of the ones that stuck. So the Bushwhackers were 50, and I won't lie. Some of these teams I'm not gonna be overly familiar with because you're talking about a lot of history here and there.
Right.
But,
one of the first ones that pissed me off.
What, the Bushwhackers?
No. One of the first ones that pissed me off was I'm just gonna jump to number 43 because I don't really have a problem with any of them up until you get to 43.
Well, I feel like the fucking Smoking Gun shouldn't have been on this goddamn list.
How long were they a tag team for? Like just a few months?
It seemed like it was a drop in the hat. Billy Gunn is actually one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. We'll get there, but they're at 47. Bart Gunn's only claim to fame was the Brawl for All and getting knocked out by Butterbean. I don't know why they're on this fucking list.
I mean, I remember them, but not like that. you know. Unmemorable.
43 was Evolution. What's wrong with that? Too low?
Very, very much so. Too low. I really feel like you can't tell me that the Nasty Boys are better than Evolution.
How the fuck is Eminem above Evolution?
I don't fucking know. Really and truly, Eminem was just more of a tag
And I
team than
like
some of
the
these other
tag
people.
team, but it wasn't above Evolution.
You know what the thing about MNM was
Melina.
Melina. Yeah.
Yeah, but they
And
were
the
just
challenge
like
on Nitro.
okay. I didn't really. It's kind of like Fandango and who the
Tyler
hell was? Yeah, I like that's like a knockoff Eminem to me.
Yeah.
That's too high. That's too fucking high. And now they were still a good tag team, but that is too high. I'm not pissed off about that. I just think that's a mishap. Now, some people might say, "Oh, Evolution was just blah blah blah," but you talking about one of the greatest wrestling factions of all time that happened to include a young Randy Orton and Batista,
Look at the
and who
stars it
eventually
produced.
become world champions. Yeah, exactly. That's bullshit. No, I agree with that one. Kane and X-Pac was right above Evolution at 44. One of my dark horse favorite tag teams. It was good while it lasted until the DX reunion. Yeah, I'm like you. The Nasty Boys at 41 makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Yeah, they should be lower than Too Cool.
Rated RKO should have been higher. They were 40.
Way higher.
How the fuck is Paul London and Brian Kendrick better than Rated RKO?
I don't see that being valid. I mean, I love them. I love them as a tag team. They were great, but at the same time, Rated RKO, two champions, two guys that can
But
outperform a lot of.
okay, so I know some people say, well, we're talking about tag teams. But you got two main event guys forming a tag team, and Rated RKO was a great fucking tag team.
They should be higher based off their theme song alone. The mashup of those two,
I don't.
this is just blasphemous.
Brian Kendrick and fucking Paul London.
Now, this will really piss me off.
DIY. Hey, I like DIY, but you know who's not on this list so far that I've been looking for?
Ooh.
The Revival. How the fuck
I thought about that too. I think that's like
bullshit.
That's a dig at them. That's got to be out of spite.
Of course.
That's got to be out of spite.
Bullshit. The Street Profits made the goddamn list, and we about to get to that in a second. But how the fuck do you not have the Revival on the list?
Yeah, that's a slap in the face to them. They wanted to do that.
This is ridiculous. Okay.
At the same time, I don't understand why they did that and they put Jericho on here. Why would they take a dig at the Revival and put Jericho on here?
They weren't even better than Rated RKO to me.
They only lasted for like 2 months.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these teams make no fucking sense. Natural disasters, that was Earthquake and Typhoon, and you put the Street Profits over them?
How about putting the Street Profits above the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas?
You know what? I completely missed that. At 37?
37.
They're fucking 37?
Yep. I can't believe that myself.
They
were the actual real tag team.
The Street, and I love the Street Profits. They ain't done nothing yet. And if anything, they've turned them into a comedy tag team. They were way better to me in fucking NXT. I liked the swag and everything they had. And yeah, they would have comedic relief here and there, but they handled business in the ring. It does not seem the same. Like
Right. It's too early in their career for me to see them on this list.
Benjamin and Haas will wipe the fucking floor with them.
Absolutely. They had a great run for like what, 2 years, 3 years.
Well,
started out under Kurt Angle.
Harper and Rowan are over them. The fucking Bludgeon
Brothers.
Brothers.
Oh gosh. See, they were so irrelevant. I looked over it. No disrespect to the Dead, but I couldn't stand Harper and Rowan. I couldn't. Once they left the Wyatt family, it was just like, you're done. You're done out here. They shouldn't be nowhere near the top 30 or 40.
Harper and Rowan at 31 over the world's greatest tag team. So let's just recap real quick.
Wait, they got them over the Briscoe brothers.
They do. How the hell did you?
Yo, this is a WWE stan that made this list.
Let me just start at 50. Let me start at 50. If somebody could find out who made the fucking list, like I would really be grateful. If you know who made this list, please put it in the comment section, because whoever made this, like, you clearly can't. You have not watched wrestling before. There's no goddamn way you've watched any type of wrestling in the last 30, 35 years, to 40 years. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so 50, Bushwhackers. 49, Too Cool. I did not have a problem with that. That's a pretty suitable spot for them. The Quebecers, I like that team. They were 48. The Smoking Guns were 47. Strike Force was 46. I don't really remember Strike Force, so forgive me. The Head Shrinkers were 45.
Head Shrinkers were great.
They were great. I thought that they should have been over Kane and X-Pac at 44, but I mean, Attitude Era tag teams were off the chain. I can't say too much. Evolution at 43, you've covered that. 42, Eminem, we've covered that. The Nasty Boys at 41, they could have fucking been 50. Rated RKO rounded out your top 40. All right. Then 39, Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Why the hell are they on this list? It's like putting Zack Ryder and
Kurt
I
Hawkins.
can't think.
Edge heads, when they were the edge heads.
Yeah.
See, they were two cruiserweights who were basically used as job guys.
Paul London, but not as
I love that
team.
Yeah, I love that team. But
DIY 38, blasphemous. 37, the world's greatest tag team, disrespectful. Money
so.
Inc. was 36.
Who was in Money Inc.?
I was saying it like that because I hope you would tell me.
I believe it was Ted DiBiase. Because he changed members. IRS was in there.
You could be right.
IRS and Jimmy Hart.
I'm gonna have to look that up. And fuck off if you saying, oh, you guys don't. No, some of these teams are old.
I know about Ted DiBiase with Virgil.
Of course, Ted DiBiase was awesome, but like as far as Money Inc., I'm not 100% certain. But like again,
I just looked it up. It was Ted DiBiase, IRS, and Jimmy Hart.
Okay, that's not a bad team. I'll give you 36. Jericho 35, 34 the Natural Disasters, 33 the Street Profits. That's stupid. And again, I like the Street Profits. They ain't done nothing yet. Not enough to be 33. Right. They probably been top 40.
I mean, they only been on the main roster for like a year and a half, maybe going on 2. And
they haven't really
a year of that.
Anybody.
A year of that.
Better matches in NXT.
Yeah, exactly. NXT. If this was like an NXT list, oh yeah, they at the top. They're one of the top ones. But as far as WWE in general, I don't know about that.
The Briscoe brothers at 32, Harper and Rowan at 31. That's a joke. 30 is Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. That seems about right for them. That ends your top 30.
Okay, but see, that's the confusing thing, because you know they were representing the Hart Foundation, and the Hart Foundation
then they had the Hart Foundation further down the list. Right. And I'm trying to figure out who, like, is it Anvil and Owen?
I think when they talk about the Hart Foundation, they talk about Britt and Anvil.
Okay, I'll buy that. I wish they would have specified, but
right.
I'll buy
it. Put it in parentheses or something.
Yeah, they should have specified that. All right, so Owen Hart and British Bulldog rounds out your top 30. We're into the 20s now. So you got goddamn Eminem at 42 and then Miz and Morrison at 29. Ain't this the same fucking team?
Might as well be. Miz and Morrison should not be on the damn.
Why have I not seen the Headbangers of the Steiners yet?
They like to bullshit on the Headbangers, and the Steiners, I don't know. Maybe
Totally
that's
Unknown is
big as
one of the
Scott
greatest
Steiner.
tag teams of all time. Period. That's a Mount
That's
Rushmore
facts.
team.
That's facts.
I
That's
don't
big
care
facts.
if they were there a year. That's still one of the greatest tag teams. They could probably out wrestle and out tag team most of these teams on this list if we're doing tag team wrestling.
They trained some of the teams on this list.
This is true.
But the main team that they trained, one of the main teams they trained, that they had a lot of work with, is not on this list, and that's Harlem Heat because they weren't in WWE.
Okay, and that really pissed me off. That's why I was trying to specify when I first asked that question. First, I was about to really go in
That's
on
what
this
makes
list.
this list irrelevant, though. To tell you the truth, you can't do
But
a like.
what you want these morons doing the goddamn total
Hell
tag
no.
list? That based on what I'm seeing so far, no. I'm good. I'd rather somebody else try it. 28, the bar. I think that's a suitable spot. Not too high, not too low. I would have probably put them in the 30s, but they were pretty decent at one point in time. I think Cesaro more than Sheamus, but still decent team. Not too high,
Yeah,
not too low. 28 good spot.
right dead in the middle.
Uh, Team Hell No at 27.
I couldn't get into them. Team
I
Hell
didn't
no,
like them either.
I didn't like them.
I knew Daniel Bryan was starting to get over, but I just didn't. I never liked that version of Kane.
Yeah. In terms of like getting over with the fans, yeah, the fans would put them pretty high on this list. But for me, my personal opinion, I would have left them down in the lower end of this list because it's just I don't really consider them a tag team. It was just an angle.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a fan of that one. That one, put an asterisk next to that for me. Now this next team is Volkov and the Iron Sheik. I
Historical.
great team, great team. They had a
Bad
nice balance,
asses.
yes, and could wrestle. I did not have a problem with that. I like
And
that
they look
spot.
like they could kill a motherfucker too.
Well, I mean, dude, Iron Sheik was so strong, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Dude was solid. Los Guerreros, 25.
I don't really have well, no, I don't really have a problem with that. When seeing some of the other ones that they have above them, I don't really have too much of a problem with that. I mean, they didn't really give them much time together before they broke
Right.
them apart because Eddie was the standout, and you know it was only so
Yeah,
long you can hold
exactly.
him there. So yeah, no, that's respectable for them.
24 to APA. I think that is way too high.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
you
way too
think is
low.
way too? Yeah,
Way too low.
yeah.
Way too low. Hell
They
no.
man, they were like one of the few dominant tag teams of that
Well,
time.
I want to know what Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown is. They could have took like one of these spots we've just called out.
Yeah, the Nation of Domination.
Yeah,
Man,
the APA is way too low. They're
what's
way too
going
low.
on? They didn't
The
put the Nation of
Blackjacks are
Domination.
over the APA.
I don't agree with that at
The
all.
Shield is over the APA.
The Shield wouldn't be able to
The
fucking
Shield should
ring
have
the
been in the
bell.
30s.
They wouldn't be able
The
to ring the
Shield should have
bell
been
for
in
the
the
APA.
fucking 30s. No, hell no.
They couldn't open their
Hell
beer
no.
or light the cigars. Let's just talk about it.
No. Hell no. Hell no. Okay, this one I have a problem with. D-Generation X. I'm assuming that's Shawn and Triple H. No. Over the APA?
But if we're talking about Shawn and Triple H, they weren't really a tag team. They were two singles competitors. Triple H
Well,
went.
no, they had that little spurt back in the in the early 2010s where they were, D-Generation X, and then it was them two.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, we can talk about that. No, no,
No.
no,
No. Not over the APA.
no, no. I wouldn't do that.
Okay, this one here, I don't agree with this. I don't. I know some people are gonna fight me over it. You might fight me over it. I don't care. Undisputed Era is your top 20.
I don't have a problem with them being in the top 20. I don't know about in the
What?
number 20.
Over the APA?
Well, no, I wouldn't put them over the APA. Oh no, no,
Or Los
APA should have
Guerreros?
been higher. I'll put them right next to, like, neck and neck with Los Guerreros. Because it depends on which Undisputed Era members we're talking about. If we're talking about Fish and O'Reilly,
Fish and O'Reilly. Fish and O'Reilly are a decent team, though. I'm not mad
I
about
like
that,
them.
but they should have been in the high 30s. It's high 30s. They're not even. They're developmental. If we being honest, NXT is still considered the third brand. They haven't even been on the main roster to be tag team champions.
But technically, they're not even developmental anymore.
Okay.
And they've been having better matches in the main roster. And better matches than people in AEW and shit.
But
and
I'm
they
saying
got
if
the
we
time.
going off of it's kind of like saying, okay, well, the best minor league baseball player is better than the best major league baseball player because his stats are. It makes no sense that they are above the APA.
Well, see, and then another thing is, well, do you really count that? Because these dudes, Fish, he got almost, if not 20, almost 20 years in the business, and O'Reilly has 15.
I get that. They're both great. I'm not saying they suck. What I'm saying is when you put them above, if Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero are historical wrestling figures. They are historical Hispanic figures in wrestling. And they were a great tag team. Which, if you had a match between Fish and O'Reilly and Los Guerreros, really? I would love to see that.
I would love to see that too.
Bro. Really?
That's true. That'll be a competitive one.
What about
But
the APA versus the Undisputed Era?
oh, that's a one-sided match. That's a one-sided match.
How many WWE, not NXT, how many WWE tag titles have the Undisputed Era?
0.
I'll help you. The same amount you and I have sitting here on the fucking couch. 0.
That's true. If you're talking about WWE, yeah. If they're talking about WWE, then they probably shouldn't put NXT tag teams in there.
I don't have a problem with it because there are some, especially based on what we've seen recently, these two teams, DIY and the Undisputed Era, is better than most tag teams. And you could throw the Street Profits in there for good measure, are better than most of the tag teams they have today.
That's facts.
So I don't have a problem with it. But when you put them over a Hall of Fame caliber of team like the APA or Hall of Fame caliber legendary talent like Los Guerreros, you bullshit. They bull jive with this list. This is bull jive.
I would have put D-Generation X at 25, Los Guerreros at 20. APA at 20, Los Guerreros at 21.
APA shouldn't even be in the 20s, period. This is a top 15, top 12 team.
Well, it depends on who they comparing them to, like Mr. Fuji and, well, we're going to get to that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's just go to number 19, the Soul Patrol.
Who the fuck was that? That has to be in the 80s.
I'm going to have to can you Google that? I'm sorry. I don't know who it is. That's my point already. I don't know who it is. Most of the great tag teams, no matter the era you're going to
run. Well, damn, I feel bad.
What?
That's Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas.
How many tag team titles did they win?
Well, the only one that matters is the first one. They were the first black tag team champions.
That doesn't make them better. How many titles did they win? I'm making a point. Just humor me.
Oh, God, look at how many times they win. Look like only one.
My point exactly. And you put them over the APA.
Yeah, they did. They did for the historical. I think they were being real, like, respectful trying to be as respectful as possible.
I get that. I'm not saying they should
also
be on
trying
the
to put
list,
over their
but
current.
I'm saying that the spot that they're in the teens. The APA is 24. I'm still on that. How many titles did the APA win? What was it, like 7? If my math's right, about 6 to 7.
8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, I was close. 8-1, and we put them at 24. So the Yankees win 27 championships, but the Cubs are the greatest baseball team that ever lived. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, again, here's another one. Mr. Fuji and Toru Tanaka. Oh, the APA.
No, I definitely wouldn't do that. I don't understand how they made it out of the 40s.
Okay, this one is kind of gonna piss me off a little bit. I finally found it. The Steiner brothers are 17.
17.
Do
Can't,
you realize that in the short time they were there, nobody could hold it. They were dominant. I mean, they
their
were.
chemistry was
This
off the
is
charts.
this is Scott Steiner in his younger days before he was Big Papa Pump, when he was athletic and agile. Like, and they were doing. Nobody could mess with them.
Yeah, no one. No one.
So to put them at 17, these next 16 teams better blow my socks off.
Oh, and a correction from earlier, the APA only won 3 titles. They
That's
only won,
it.
that's it,
That's
3-time
still more
tag
than one.
champions. Yeah.
That's
Can
it.
you believe it?
Really?
I can't believe it. I
That
saw it. I was like, what the
that
hell?
makes no sense. Hell no. And I know one of them was probably with the Ministry of Darkness, if I'm not mistaken. But when
When
they
they
were
were in
the
the ministry, yeah.
when they were the protection agency, I thought they won them at least 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I think most of it is because they did hold it for a while
Okay.
and they were
I'll
so
buy that.
dominant with it. So it was.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
And then
Okay.
this was around the time, like when they were going, you gotta remember the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian was starting to catch fire too.
That's true. That's true. They were just right on the fringes. I'll give you that. I still wouldn't have put them at no goddamn 24.
And the Steiner, if you ask me, the Steiner brothers wouldn't have been out of the
That's a
top 10.
top 10. That's a
They
top
would have
10
been out
team.
of the top 10.
Yeah, that's a top 10 team. That's disrespectful. This is blasphemous. Okay, so this one is gonna be tough. The Rock and Sock Connection. I love the Rock and Sock Connection. It was a great team to me. They
Very
found a way to
entertaining.
make it work. But as much as I love them, I'm not gonna put them over a real tag team. The Steiner brothers should be higher than the Rock and Sock Connection.
And that's another thing I'm seeing on this list. You have people who were teammates for angles.
I was just gonna say this was more of an angle team than like, oh, this is a legitimate tag team. Like,
Right.
this is more of an angle team.
Exactly. That's the difference with it.
Now
And
they still won the tag titles for a second, like several times. It wasn't like they just broke. They won the titles for a couple, I think 2 times at least. But I still wouldn't put them over the Steiners. Like, that makes no sense. They had no intentions of The Rock in his prime and Mankind in his prime being a tag team for a full time period. That made no sense.
yeah, I mean, they were 3-time champions, but at the same time, the Steiners, they grinded it out as a tag team. Rock and Sock Connection came together when they were both pretty much on top of their game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that makes no sense. They shouldn't. They should be higher up the list, or they should be off the list completely. It's like putting Stone Cold and Triple H on the team. They had one of the greatest matches I've ever
2-man
seen.
power
Was it?
strip.
Yeah, like that. I mean, yeah, it's like putting the fucking Mega Powers on this list. That makes no sense. It's for an angle. That's not a real tag team. So,
Exactly. And I was looking
I
at that too.
you was looking at what?
The Mega Powers being on this list. I just don't get it.
Are they on this damn list? Because I
Oh,
hadn't
yeah.
looked yet.
Number 13.
You got to be shit.
Over the Rockers.
Over the.
Might I add.
Ooh, I am trying not to curse. I'm really trying. I am trying to keep my composure. Like this. This is ridiculous. How many tag titles did the Mega Powers win?
None.
None. None. How long were they a team?
For like one program.
Who made this list? I'm about to offer a reward to find out who made this list.
It had to be an intern. It had to be. It had to be a bunch of comedy writers that sat down, and maybe one or two of them knew about old tag teams, and they was like, "Hey, out of respect, we gotta put these here, and let's make sure we put our new tag teams up higher on the list to put them over."
Let me wait a minute. So keep that in mind. If you're listening and you're following this, remember the Mega Powers at 13, because I just want to cover the tag teams in between them and the Rocky Sock Connection. So at 16, you had the Rocky Sock Connection. The Wild Samoans are 15. And you put the Mega Powers over the... And Hulk Hogan and Macho Man are two of the greatest wrestlers to ever wrestle, but that is not a real tag team. It is not. I don't give a damn how many matches they had on television. That is not a legitimate team. They've never worked together at all. They didn't even hold the titles. At any point in time that I can remember, they did not have them. And I wasn't even born in the 80s. But I went back and watched those, and I don't remember.
The whole point was just about Elizabeth.
Just to get to WrestleMania 5, I think it was.
That's it. Come on now.
So, over the Wild Samoans, over the Rockers, those are two great teams. Hall of Fame teams, by the way. Now you're starting to get in the Hall of Fame teams.
Yeah.
Two Hall of Fame teams, and you put...
And a whole lineage like the Wild Samoans. Now, the Wild Samoans, over their whole career, they've won 22 tag team championships together.
Mm-hmm.
3 in the WWE.
How many did Mega Powers win?
0. And they're sitting at number 13. Over the Rockers, too. I can't believe that. That I can't believe.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm done. I'm done. No, I'm done for real. Like
It's like they're on a mission to piss off people.
It's working over here. Like I don't know about anybody else, but I'm legitimately irritated. Okay,
I'm irritated about number 12.
Let's get through the last 12. I'm just. I don't know. I think, and I probably will be crucified. I think the Valiant brothers is Jimmy Valiant and somebody else. I'm not 100%.
Johnny Valiant.
Yeah, like
that was before our time.
That was before our time. I've heard the names. I'm not ultra familiar with them. I was born, well after that. I'd have to go back and do some research.
If I had
something. I think that I always got them confused. So the natural disasters at 34, right? So at 11 you have demolition.
Right.
What's the difference? But I think the natural disasters were earthquake and typhoon. But who was in demolition?
You can find out right now. Demolition was actually storied. They had a storied career.
But who was it? Because it's bothering
me. I don't know their names, but I remember seeing film on them, and they were actually a great tag team. That's why WWE tried to recreate them with that horrible fucking tag team, the Ascension. They their members were they had 4 members over time. They had Axe, Smash, Crush.
There you go. That's why I remember. Okay. Good. Yes. Great team. I thought I had got them confused.
Even though they dress like sex slaves,
I have nothing to do with that. This is a great team. This is a good spot for them. 11. Okay. Now I'm about to get mad
have a problem
again.
with that.
About to get mad again. So at 10 they have the British Bulldog. You mean to tell me? And I'm looking at 9, and again, they should have been higher. And these are 2 Hall of Famers at number 9. You have the Brothers of Destruction over the British Bulldogs.
Yes, they do.
I love Kane and Undertaker as a team, especially during the whole invasion angle when Undertaker was still doing the biker thing. Some people don't like biker Undertaker. I loved him. But that was kind of a gimmick team to me.
Right. They
I
were
don't
they
I don't really buy them as a real legitimate tag team. That was like a gimmick to me.
it was like when they would join together for like a couple weeks before they turned on each other. They would be brothers. Matter of fact, that wasn't even their official name for like until like what, a year or two after they started teaming up more. They weren't called the Brothers of Destruction until the American Badass Undertaker.
Well, let me just throw
There.
this out there. When you get to talking about tag teams, if you just take the aspect of all the greatest tag teams have been together for years. The Bulldogs were together for years. The Dudleys, years. The Hardys, they're brothers.
They
Legitimate,
grinded it out.
yeah, legitimate blood brothers. Years. Edge and Christian, years and years and years until they became single superstars. The New Age Outlaws, years. They knew each other. Uh, 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 um, the Heart
Our
Foundation,
foundation.
they all were related. Like it when you those are real legitimate teams. Even the I think the Quebecers
The
were. I
New
got
Day.
what?
The New Day.
What about them?
They grinded it out. They're brothers.
Are they really brothers?
In the wrestling sense.
No, that ain't what I'm talking about. That ain't what I'm talking. What I'm trying to get to is you can tell a legitimate team from one they just pieced together. So, for instance, all the teams I talked about, the APA, they spent a lot of time together to get the Rockers. They came in together. You know,
From
you can
territory
tell
to
the
territory.
Steiners are brothers. Yeah, exactly. So once you put that time in, you can tell a good tag team because they're able to work almost with anybody else. It's seamless. The Dudley's matches with anybody were just timeless. It never changed. They knew what they were supposed to do. They like everything was there because they've worked together for so long. Versus you put a team like the Brothers of Destruction together. Yeah, okay, it can work. These are two Hall of Famers, but they haven't put that time in. You can tell the chemistry's not quite there or whatnot. They don't know when to hit the hot tags and when to settle down and when to come back. These things take time. Even the Hollywood Blondes, that was a great goddamn team.
Yeah. Well, see, the Brothers of Destruction didn't even have to really use the tag team division to build their personal singles career because they were already made by the time
But the
they
tag team
joined up.
division used to be a ringer. That's where Mid Carter could go to try to make or break themselves and set themselves apart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't agree with this. Over the Bulldogs, no. Again, I love Brothers of Destruction, but they're not a top 10 team. That's
Bulldogs were
bull.
too influential to be
No,
right where they
no,
are.
no. And Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy as a team were I don't
That's
no.
disrespectful.
It's almost the same as the Steiners being 17 or whatever. No, no. That's disrespect. I
I wouldn't.
totally
I mean, I
agree.
love the New Age Outlaws, but I'm not putting them over the Bulldogs.
Ooh, that's hard for me. I love the Outlaws. Outlaws are actually a Hall of Fame team. I love the Outlaws.
I
They
can't
were
put them
great.
above. I can't put. I'll leave them in the top 10, but I can't put them above the Bulldogs.
I,
I
how
just
the
can't.
fuck are they not above the Usos?
That's what I'm saying.
The
I mean,
Usos come
granted,
in
the
at
Usos,
seventh. The Usos are good. To
yeah,
me, they the best team that WWE's had in the last what 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
best team on the
They're one of the
roster.
best
Uh,
tag teams in wrestling. Period. I think the Usos are better than the Bucks. The Usos are better than. I would love to see the Usos and the Briscoes. I would literally give
oh
every
man,
dollar I had to see that match. Like I think they're better than I can't even remember the goddamn name right now. Phoenix and Pentagon.
Oh, the Lucha Brothers.
Thank you. I don't know why I drew a blank. I mean, the Usos can pretty much match up against most teams today, but putting them over the Bulldogs and the Outlaws, no. We're being patronizing now.
Yeah, you
No,
gotta let them fall back.
they're a top 15, top 10, top 12 team. Okay. The Rockers or the Usos better?
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to go with the Usos.
Really?
I'm gonna have to go with the Usos.
Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, and Mario Jannetty, I understand. Now they did some shit. They did some good shit. They're definitely better than the Mega Powers and the Valiant Brothers, but I got to edge it to the Usos. Maybe it's the time I was born in. Maybe
The
it's because
Usos over the Steiners?
no, because the Steiners had quickness and power. That's a rare find.
But even if are we just going off of match quality and ability? Because if we just doing that, like they're not
Well,
better
I'm
than the
going off
Rock.
like the overall draw of them because the Steiners had a great gimmick. You had the Gremlin and Rick Steiner, and Scott Steiner was the bodybuilder, but he was also the physical one who could be real athletic and
But the
do all kinds
Rockers
of
were
hip
hip and
ups.
they were exciting. They had great matches. I mean, okay. I don't know. To me they should be 12 or something like that. I don't see them better than the Rockers.
Well,
I
which
don't see them
Rockers?
better
The WWF Rockers or the Territory Rockers?
than the WWF Rockers. If we talking about this WWF list or WWE, whatever you want to call it.
That's true. They were robbed of that tag team championship too against the Hart Foundation. Pretty good match. Sucks
Yeah,
how
they
it
had
won.
great matches. That I don't know. I think that's too high for them. I'm not saying they're not a top 12. I just don't think they're better than the Steiners or the Rockers at all. Period. I'm sorry. I don't even get as excited about seeing them as I would those two teams or the Outlaws. Hell, I remember the Outlaws. I was excited to see them versus Terry Funk and Cactus Jack. That
Oh,
was a
those are
great
great
goddamn match.
matches. Great matches. Great
And they
promos
pushed the
too.
envelope. Remember when they pushed that dumpster over the side of the stage and Terry Funk was talking about his neck?
Oh, how could I forget?
Yeah, those are great moments. They were
Then that
part
match
of
at
that.
WrestleMania 14
With
with the
why am I
forklift.
drawing blanks tonight? What?
The forklift. That
Yes,
spot with the
yes,
forklift. They covered
yes,
him with a forklift.
yes. Like I mean, these dudes, uh, they had great matches. They were a great team. I don't
And the thing
understand.
about the Outlaws, they would grab you with their entrance, but then they would keep you with the
Entrance was
match.
catchy. And they had a nice balance. Both of them could actually wrestle and wrestle well. They were charismatic. They were different. You had Mr. Ass and the Road Dog Jesse James. I mean, those were great matches. I mean, that was a great team. I don't get that excited about seeing the Usos. Now I like their gimmick now better than the one they had when they first came in. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that excited about seeing the Usos. I like them, but they're not better than the Outlaws.
I'll tell you like this, the Usos, I know I'm not gonna see a crappy match from them. That's probably what's
You
getting me
know
like,
that, but like it's not gonna be to the extent of what could the Uso. When's the last time you seen the Usos try to get close to main events in a pay per view or being a top match? Usually, the last 3 or 4 matches on the bill are usually the best matches on a pay per view. When's the last time the Usos has done that
shit,
as
the
a
Usos
tag team?
haven't even had a match on the pay-per-view in years, in like a year.
See, you didn't have that problem. The Outlaws were in the thick of everything by being with DX, and then they were always, they were a legitimately good tag team. Even as a heel, I didn't even realize that they were heels as DX as a DX faction. They were so cool, and their matches were so good. I love the Outlaws. Not the Usos are not better than them.
Well, and then times were different back then. A lot of more focus was on tag team wrestling, and now
Yeah.
it's just like you're getting a tag match from people who aren't legitimate
Now-
tag teams more than regular tag teams.
Now you're gonna have to explain this one to me because okay.
Oh, I'm trying to get somebody to explain it to me too.
The Legion of Doom is 6.
To
Now,
me, this is my number one.
I'm going to assume that y'all were talking about like the back end, like late 90s Legion of Doom. And even if you were, I don't really give a damn. It's like the Michael Jordan of tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
They will always be number one. Period. It does not matter how anybody else feels. They are the best team of all time.
I blocked that bullshit out that happened to them in WWF during the Attitude Era. They've always been the best tag team of all time to me.
Yeah, the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, and some people might sound crazy. I feel like that the Midnight Express was better, simply because they had Jim Cornette, who's probably one of the greatest talkers in wrestling ever seen. And I still say, dude, we watched it before. Their program with with Arn and Tully before they were going to WWF with the Horsemen versus the Midnight Express and all the promoing and stuff, like that was outstanding. But even when the Midnight Express was doing the scaffold matches and stuff with the Road Warriors, that was off the chain. So to put them at 6.
Yeah, but see, even then, Midnight Express were a different type of tag team because they could work a whole program with someone for a full year.
The Legion of Doom and the Midnight Express were main event and pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So
in
by
different
default,
territories.
In different places. So by default, you mean to tell me there's 6? 6.
Yeah. I can. That's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face to that legacy.
Okay, so
Because none of these teams that's named after them are better than them, in my opinion. None of them.
One of these teams that's named after them should be just okay. So 5, the Dudley Boys. I'm not gonna even argue with that. I'm gonna argue with the fact that they over the Legion of Doom, but they are definitely a top 5 team of all time.
I would say so. At this point, it's all about placement.
5 is
them.
Yeah, 5 is good, but not over the Legion. That 5 is good for them. 4, Edge and Christian. Again, same thing. That's a top 5, top 16, not over the Legion.
I put Dudley's over Edge and Christian.
I was finna say that. Nah, they shouldn't even be over the Dudleys. I think there might be a bit of the WWE's, pride coming into play because the Dudleys left. But anytime you can be almost 50 years old, come back as a team and get over, like if people just popped when you came out. You remember when they first came back?
Yeah, a huge pop.
Like anytime you can do that as a team, you own to something. And I might remind you, the Legion of Doom and the Dudley Boys. The Dudleys are the only team I think that's even come close to doing what the Legion of Doom has done. They have been tops everywhere they went. ECW, best tag team. WWE, best tag team. I think they were in TNA for a second, best tag team. You more of a TNA savant than I am. You might know.
They were Team 3D in TNA. They had a good run there.
Best tag teams they had, correct?
Yep, they did some good shit in TNA.
Everywhere they go, they are legitimately a premier tag team. You put anybody with them, they will make them. Not to mention that they were part of one of the greatest tag team matches I've seen in my generation.
Absolutely.
That TLC match was out both times.
Those 3 teams carried the fucking division for Over a year.
Easily.
Tearing down the house.
Hell, the matches that Edge and Christian and the Hardys had for Terry Services was all those were out off the chain. They were killing each other out there.
Yeah. And it was just over her. No title, just her.
I was highly entertained. Them was some great matches.
Absolutely. I still go back and watch those sometimes.
Yeah, no, Edge and Christian shouldn't be over the Dudleys, but top 5, top 6 is still a good spot for them. Hell no over the Legion. Everybody on this list, the rest of the way, I'm gonna say hell no over the Legion. I need to put it out there. The Hart Foundation. Again, I need to know the distinction. If we're talking Brett and Anvil, I don't know.
I can't get jiggy with that one. I can't get jiggy with it.
I can't put them over the Dudleys or Edge and Christian.
I can't put them over the Steiners. How about that? Or the British Bulldogs.
I'm not even gonna argue with you on that. This is high, like way high.
That's too high, especially
like
since if they're talking about Brett and Anvil, it's like, nah, man, you can't. That's not right. It's not right to me. I feel like Brett's solo career just completely overshadowed everything else.
Yeah, easily. But like
nobody even thinks about him being in the tag team.
I think that team spoke to his greatness because he was able to get it. Anytime Brett put his hands to something, it was good. It didn't matter what it was. Yeah. It was good. I give him that. But like over the Hardys, over the Dudleys, Edge and Christian and the Legion, no, hell no. They didn't do anything as a team that was influential or game changing. Like these 3 teams I just mentioned that's above them were game changing teams.
Yeah.
Number 2 is a game changing team.
Absolutely.
Now you can go back and forth. Now that's where the debate would come in at. I love the Hardys. They were my favorite of the trio, but they to me shouldn't be over the Dudleys. Dudleys have done more. In most places.
That is a debate too. That's a good debate.
Now some people would even say Edge and Christian were the better team because the Hardys didn't have a gimmick. All they had was, they were Team Extreme, and that was it. You got to remember, Edge and Christian, remember when they were trying to get over and win the tag titles, but they couldn't keep competing for them, so they were the Los Conquistadors, and then they had the 5-second flash photography.
Flash photography, yeah.
Yeah, then they had
Freak
the
of Awesomeness.
Concerto. Like, they had so many other things to go along with their team that it was like, okay, they were a little bit more charismatic. Whereas the Hardys were just Team Extreme. That's what they had. That's what they were known as.
But see, that's also what made them cool. That's also what made them cool because they would put their bodies on the line to get the win.
Yeah, but mostly Jeff and not as much back.
Yeah, that's what kind of
Jeff was like the fire starter.
Yeah, without Jeff, it would have been. But then again, you had to have somebody that can take the heat in the match and someone that could really do the wrestling. They both could wrestle, but Matt, great on the mat.
Yep.
He was great in their ring.
A great team, but I think if I was doing it, Dudley's 2, Hardys 3, Edge and Christian 4. That's a personal preference. I didn't like Edge and Christian as much as a team. Now, as separate stars, yes, I did. But as a team, I actually preferred them as the Brood at one point in time. And I think that was just the entrance music talking. But they were still good. I would put them at 4.
Actually, to kind of help your point, when looking at it, if you look back at the matches, Dudley's and Edge and Christian really had a lot of symmetrical workings where a lot of their moves, they did a lot more tag team moves than the Hardys. I mean, the Hardys had the all fours thing, and then that was pretty much it. But most of the time, it was Matt holding the ladder for Jeff to do his wild stunt.
Jeff was always the hot tag.
Yeah. So
That's why I
I
say
can see why you put them.
I would have put them at like 3, just on a personal preference, because I preferred the Hardys over all 3 teams. That was my team. But like, I mean,
Dudley's
if
had the
we
better
just
finisher.
if we just talking 3D, like, come on, man.
And
You
they
knew it
have
was
power.
coming. It was the most unstoppable tag team move in wrestling.
And they were so much bigger
Devon
than
get the
these other 4
table.
guys. Yeah, over with the crowd. They were the only ones that had somebody that had something to shout out to the crowd, to involve the crowd. And they were heels most of the time. And they were so much bigger than Edge, Christian, and the Hardys.
But look how they have been big everywhere. These were some heat magnets. If the Dudleys had been allowed to be the way they were in ECW when they came to WWE, like, I think they would have been over. Like, it was dangerous to be the Dudleys
Yeah,
in
if they weren't
ECW.
scripted.
Yeah, it was dangerous. Now, some people would say Bubba Ray went a little far, but I mean, that was their gimmick. That's how they got over.
Yeah, you remember when when he powerbombed Mae Young through a table?
Yep. I remember when he did Tori. That kind of pissed me off because I thought she was hot.
Yeah, I didn't like when he did that stuff. I was like, what are you doing?
But they wouldn't allow him to do that today, obviously. But that's what made
See,
wrestling back then.
that's what makes them the better one out of the 3.
But they got heat. They
Yeah,
knew how to get heat. Edge and Christian got it, but for different reasons. It was more like comedy relief heat or goofy heat.
exactly.
It wasn't like these dudes could legit get heat. They would come out and you would legitimately be like, "Fuck you, I hate you." Yeah, like if anybody has not seen them, if you ever have some free time, go on YouTube and watch Dudley promos in ECW, and just look at how people wanted to kill these dudes.
Especially when that lady was spitting on Bubba Ray in ECW. He pissed off so
Yeah,
much that she spit on him.
he was able to just stir people up. And then I think when you throw in too, and I think somebody's talked about this at one point in time, they were an interracial tag team.
Yeah,
So
and
it
called
was
themselves Real Brothers.
exactly so that they got heat for a lot of the things that they were doing. And even I think Devon even said that sometimes they would go out there and he would be like, "Oh my God," like, it's, "Oh my God, are we gonna be stabbed? Are we gonna be shot?" Like, he wasn't as over the top as Bubba Ray was. And I remember when, like, people were pissed when they split them up in the draft.
Yeah, and it didn't work out well at
Hell
all.
no, Deacon Devon.
Yeah, then adding Spike Dudley to the whole mix. I mean, he
Hey,
was actually good.
Spike was
He
nice.
actually was
Yeah,
good.
I didn't have
He
a
actually good.
problem with
But
Spike
then
being
they
good.
tried to have Bubba and Spike be a tag team. That's what I'm talking
That
about.
was not gonna be the
That
same
wasn't.
thing. That's
Yeah,
like trying to put. That's like when they put Heidenreich with Road Warrior
Warway
Animal.
Animal. Yeah,
That was dumb. It was not the same thing.
you saw how long that lasted.
No, but I think the Dudleys by default should be 2.
I love
It,
the
it, it,
bumps that Devon used to take.
and I'm saying 2 over under the road. If you ask me so just out of the blue, I just forget the WWE list. Top 5 tag teams to me. This I'm gonna try to put this in a semblance of order. Obviously, the Road Warriors at 1. I had the Dudleys at 2. Midnight Express at 3. Harlem Heat at 4. And I'm gonna have to go with Tully and Arn at 5. That's my personal preference. I know some people might say I might have left somebody out. The Rock and Roll Express, you can make a case for them. They were a great tag team. The Heavenly Bodies were a great tag team. Hell, have you ever seen Lance Storm and goddamn Chris Jericho?
Oh yeah, when they were in Smoky Mountain, right?
Was it the Thrill Seekers? I think it
Thrill
was. Yeah,
Seekers. They were thrill seekers.
yeah. Like you, I mean, but that would be my top. But the Bulldogs could be made. There's a case to be made for them being in the top 5. The Steiners, depending on your preference, there's a case for them to be a top 5 team. The Rockers top 5. I mean, but like Edge and Chris. I mean, the Hardys and Edge and Christian could in WWE. They're a top 5 team. In wrestling, I'm probably top 20, top 15. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. Top 15 is fair. Top 20, I'll say they're higher than that. For the Hardys.
So you gonna do number 1 so that we can just get this bullshit over with?
Oh, don't you dare be sour.
Bruh,
Clap
you're
for your
not
number
finna do
one
that.
greatest
You're not
tag
finna
team
do that.
champions.
You're not
And
finna
New
do.
Day,
I
you
feel
gonna
like
feel
that's
this
finna.
power.
No, I feel like this is finna be a problem.
Honestly, dude. Honestly, my opinion is that WWE wanted to put over who they feel like their top tag team is, and that's why they got number one. That's the only reason they got number one, because they
They're
want to put
not
over
even
that
better than the Usos, though.
dude. But they're still together, while the Usos are kind of split up, but then they're together, and
Yeah,
then
but that has nothing to do with them. They wouldn't prefer it that way. That's the writers.
yeah, that's definitely the writers, no doubt. But when you got the New Day, they're the longest reigning tag team champions they have. Their merchandise sales like crazy, and now it's talks
So
of them putting them back together, all three of them, 11-time champions, and I think that's
dude,
the only reason why.
they're not even the greatest 3-man tag team that ever lived. That would be the Freebirds. So, like,
Well, see, and then
do you really think that they're better than the Legion of Doom,
no, I don't think anybody's better than the Legion of Doom.
Harlem Heat,
Nope, not Harlem Heat. They're not better than Harlem
Hardys?
Heat either. I wouldn't say they're better than the Hardys, not
You
the
wait.
Dudleys.
You said you would say they are
No, I
better
said
than
I
the
wouldn't.
Hardys?
I said I wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Or Edge and Christian,
No, not Edge and Christian. Mm-mm.
the Steiners,
No,
the Rockers.
no.
That took a little longer than I expected it to.
I had to. Well, because the Rockers is kind of one-sided a little bit sometimes because
How?
Shawn Michaels will outshine.
Jannetty was a great wrestler.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But once Shawn Michaels started getting in his bag, he was outshine in the match,
But Shawn
and
Michaels
he would
was like
talk
a
most of the time
genius.
too.
That's like saying he was like a genius. Everybody knew there was something there.
He
You
was
could look at
oozing
him and
out.
tell. Yeah. Uh, I mean, they're not better than any of the teams that are they better than the Outlaws?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, based on that assessment, they should probably be somewhere around 12 at this point. I ain't even got to the other
Which
teams.
would be fair though? Which would be
That's
fair?
too high. They're like a
I
20 to okay, so maybe I'm a little biased because I don't like cartoon bullshit wrestling. We've talked about this past episode. But I mean,
most of the ones that's in the top 20, I will put them above.
are they better than Undisputed Era?
I'll put them above Undisputed Era.
What?
I would. Based off like okay, Freebird rules. If we're talking about a certain pair, if we're talking about like Big E and Kofi and stuff like that, I'll probably say no. But if you're going like Kofi and Xavier Woods, then I'll say yeah.
That would be a hell no for me.
They're actually good. They're actually good. And I think that's what catches a lot of people because you can come from any angle with the New Day. It's three people, so you compare them.
So you're okay with one.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not okay with one. I'm not
What
okay.
number would you be okay with? If you could redo this list, what number would they be?
Mm, I put the New Day at probably 15.
Let me look at the list again.
I'm not gonna lie. If I could shuffle this list around, I'd probably put them at
Yeah,
12.
I need to see what. Yeah, I need to see what. Okay, so then that means by default everybody else would slide down, right? So if they're at 15, that means that the Samoans become 14, the Rockers 13, the Powers 12.
The Valiant
Bad
Brothers
Brothers
would get
11.
removed.
Okay, Demolition would be 11. The Bulldogs 10. Brothers of Destruction would still stay at 9, and so on and so forth. And then obviously you probably would slide the Legion of Doom from 6 to 1, if that's the case.
Yeah. I would be comfortable with that. But nobody should be above the Legion. That's just.
So the New Day better than the APA?
No, we talked about how the APA should be way higher than they are, and Los Guerreros. But I
I'm
put
okay with
the New
25
Day
for
over.
Los Guerreros. I'm not okay with 24 for the APA.
I mean, I definitely put them above the Shield. Tell you the truth, the Shield was just all about one guy, really. When you look back on it,
Who, Rollins?
at first, well, no, at first it was about Roman. Then Seth Rollins started outshining him on the mic and in the ring. Then it became about Rollins. But yeah, Rollins. After Rollins left the Shield, it was over.
Man, yeah, the New Day.
Bottom line, this list is ass.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, again, I would encourage anybody to go through and look at it. If you agree that the New Day is number 1, then please keep your comments to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. But like, that would just really upset me if you think the New Day is better than the Legion. I don't think any.
I don't understand anybody who respects wrestling can say that.
Yeah, this is comic relief at best. Somebody got bored and decided this would be a nice joke.
Yeah, no, I mean, come on. Doomsday?
That's a tag team move.
Oh, what a rush. Like, come on, man.
That's a
These
tag
dudes are
team
rock
move.
stars. These dudes are rock stars. RIP to both of them. They killed it.
Well, I mean, you out here talking about goddamn merchandise sales and shit. That means nothing to me.
No, I'm saying
When you,
that's probably why they put them on there. I mean, they even had a little article under it as to why they picked them number
there's
one.
no real explanation for this. Like, you trying to sell me bullshit. There's no real explanation for doing this.
They just want to put them over. They wanted to make sure it's a tag team that they felt like they created.
Personally, maybe I'm a little old school, but I think that a retired team should have been number 1. I don't care if you didn't want to put the Legion. It needed to be a legendary team at number 1. You've had at least 7 or 8 legendary teams we've went through in this list. One of them guys should have been number 1. They're already in the Hall of Fame.
Oh man, don't look at the comments under this. Somebody said that Too Cool should be number 3. Oh no.
Well, marijuana use is just very rampant these days.
That's some pills that somebody got. Too Cool. It's number 3. Yeah, no, they good with that.
Usos way better than New Day.
I would say, I don't know, because they had some great matches together. Usos and New Day. That's actually like the best matches the New Day's ever had was involving the Usos.
I can't believe they tried to actually.
So I would say that the Usos are better than New Day. I would say that. I would agree with that.
I can't believe they've actually tried to quantify. Like, first of all, let's just talk about it as we try to wrap this up. The tag team division is in the toilet. Okay? We know that. But, like, y'all are trying to sell me on the New Day being the best tag team WWE has ever had in its history. Put that in perspective.
I don't think anybody agree with that either. That caused
Now, I'm sure
a
there's
bit of
some
a
teams that
firestorm.
didn't make this list that should have. I just can't think of one right now. I've been racking my brain to say, okay, who was left off the list that should have been on the list?
I've been trying to think about that this whole time too.
But
Hmm.
them at number one don't flesh. Sorry.
Yeah, that just like I said before, putting anybody above the Road Warriors is just
You wasting time.
yeah.
You mentally masturbating. They excuse the expression, but that's what it's called. Like you clearly just you fantasizing about something that's not that you never gonna have.
You shouldn't be
That's
fussing with
bull.
anything. And don't get me wrong, I love the New Day. I love everything about the New Day except the damn pancake throwing. But at the same time, I'm not gonna put them above some of these people that they're above. I just can't do that. I can't bring
But
myself
I
to do
will say this, and then you can close up shop if you want. This right here is exactly what's wrong with wrestling today.
that. Yeah, a bunch of people in there that don't know what they're doing, don't know nothing about wrestling.
It's funny. They're funny. I don't know when we started associating wrestling with comedy, but
When it became
this
sports entertainment, that's when.
this is nonsense, and the highest that's the only word I have for it. It's absolute and utter nonsense. And whoever put this list together, even if it was WWE as a whole, how can you realistically sit here and tell me, or anybody else for that matter, that this was the right thing to do?
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't have the headbangers on there.
And
I really
respectable.
can't.
Again, Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown didn't make the list.
That's man. The
Rey
disrespect is real.
Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero.
And the girl, yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Benoit and Jericho didn't make the
The
list.
radicals as a whole.
Didn't make the list.
Fuck these guys, man.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I don't understand what anybody thought. Hell, it's some women
Oh.
tag teams that I think is better than some of these people on here.
Yes, some teams you can't even call tag team.
Yeah, they not the Mega Powers were not a tag team. I don't care who gets
They
mad.
don't count.
That wasn't no real tag team.
They don't count. There's
No,
just no way.
that's absolute nonsense. And the fact that you're trying to sell it to me, yeah, no.
Well, that was fun. That was fun to dress that down and just give our honest opinion on what kind of BS that was. Obviously, this had to be some kind of comedy writer coming through and just telling people what he thought after just looking at YouTube. Oh, another thing, did they have the Brain Busters on here?
No, I mentioned it.
Son of a fuck.
Yeah.
How?
How can you quantify putting them underneath the New Day? They didn't even make the list.
This isn't based off anybody who has a background in wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. So please avert your eyes. Don't stress yourself out on it. This is a bullshit list.
Nah, they bull jiving. I don't know what the hell.
When you
No,
don't
this
put LOD at the top of the list, it's automatically irrelevant. Because you can go on any fucking list and and LOD is like at the top.
I know that this was only WWE, but Benoit and Malenko were better than at least half these teams on this list.
Hell, I'll take it to fucking TNA. Beer money and America's Most Wanted.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. You know, I dig with I ride with the TNA in the early
The
years.
Revival not being on this list is a disgrace.
That
Now I
was
know they don't. I know that the wrestlers are not there, but you still own the name, so you could have put them on there.
you put some other people that you don't even fuck with on the list
Yeah, but
and
I'm
excluded
pretty sure
them.
that it had a lot to do with them going to AEW, but they still own the rights to the name.
It's just
They could have put them on there.
that's not
ridiculous.
fair. You could put DIY on there, but you can't put the Revival on there.
That's who made DIY, in my personal
Exactly.
opinion.
Well, Shirai basically fucked this list, huh?
With their passion, and I mean, I don't know. I'm actually frustrated because you want to laugh, but it's no longer funny anymore to me. Like this is ridiculous, and like you wonder why the viewership's down.
Yeah, they don't care. We don't care. Hey, I
So
already said I don't watch nothing but indie wrestling, and I'll look at NXT from time to time. Everything else I don't watch.
I don't blame you. And I mean, but lists like this are what keep us in business. So
Yeah. Keep them
that's the
coming. We'll strip them
positive.
down.
Yeah, that's the positive. But I mean, if you like the episode and or you agree or disagree with anything, hey, feel free to comment. We like reading comments and hearing people and just opening the discussion forum to talk about wrestling. And if you know teams we missed, let us know, because I feel like there's some teams that we didn't call out that definitely should have been on this list. So, I mean, man, take us home.
Yes. Subscribe, like, share. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter. All this will be linked down in the bio. And shop with us at teespring.com. And keep an eye on for new merchandise when we have it. And just interact with us online. We're very receptive and responsive. And please don't forget, this list is bullshit. And that's all I got to say.